Welcome back to the 2 Minute Warning, episode 324, back on the topic of baseball. Today, the Toronto Blue Jays obviously making plenty of acquisitions this offseason, but today I'm going to be talking about why they need to sign Trevor Bauer. But first, question of the day, what two pitchers in 2019 had over 300 strikeouts? Again, stick around till the end of the video for the answer. Again, the question of the day is what two pitchers broke 300 strikeouts back in 2019? But let's get right into the video. Simply put, I think the Blue Jays need to sign Trevor Bauer. I think between this lineup that is elite, the thing that they are missing, between the lineup, the defense that is elite, what they are missing is the one piece that is an elite starter. Of course, their number one right now, Ryu, is very good, was in the Cy Young talk, finished third last year for the American League Cy Young Award. But I think they need an ace, a real ace, to hold this pitching together and really hold the team together if they want to be in World Series conversations. Like I said, their lineup with Springer recently acquired going to be leading off. Biggio in the 2-hole, most likely. Bo Bichette in the 3-hole. Teoscar Hernandez 4, Vladdy Jr. 5, Lourdes Gurriel, who, as I mentioned in the last, if you haven't watched the Marcus Semien video, go check that one out. The Blue Jays obviously just signed him as well. But I talked about Lourdes Gurriel in that video. Young guy, of course, Yuli Gurriel's of the Astros' younger brother. But Lourdes is a young guy, but he really had a breakout season last year, especially the postseason. They got swept in 2 games by the Rays in the wild card, but Gurriel had like 8 hits, and he just kind of really showed that he is on the rise. So I like him a lot. Then Marcus Semien, second base, in the 7-hole, and then Rowdy Tellez and Danny Jansen in the 8 and 9-hole, respectively. So this is, between Springer, Bichette, Vladdy, Hernandez, and Semien, that's what? 4 or 5 at least guys in this lineup that can really punish the baseball. And then between Biggio, who's rising star, and I didn't even name Gurriel, so whatever. 5, 6 guys in this lineup that I have a lot of faith in. Semien, as I mentioned yesterday, one of the hardest working guys in baseball. You're going to get 155, 160 games out of him. He's a tough guy, so whatever. This lineup is ready to go. But the pitching staff, starting wise, and the bullpen is solid. I'll give them that. Bullpen isn't spectacular. I wouldn't choose the Blue Jays bullpen over really many other teams in the league at the moment. But they're solid. And their starting rotation, like I said, there's just such a big gap from their 1 spot in Ryu down to their 2 spot, who I have with Nate Pearson. I just think they need a guy like Bauer to step in, go to that 1 spot, and push everyone down a little bit. But let's take a look at their starting lineup. Ryu, again, I mentioned. He was third in Cy Young last year. He's just coming off his 3rd straight year with a sub-2.7 ERA. That's very impressive. So Ryu is certainly not an issue. He is going to be great whether they have Bauer or not. But then you get down to Nate Pearson, who is their 2 spot. There's kind of a large jump there. Nate Pearson would be more ideal as a 3, 4, 5th starter, but they don't have another guy to step up and take that role, which would what Bauer would help kind of push everyone down, push Ryu to 2, Pearson to 3. Nate Pearson threw 18 innings last year. Was impressive, yes. But he doesn't have a lot of experience in the league, and he got injured last year as well. So he needs somebody to kind of sit behind and learn from, and he also needs to work on staying healthy. And then I got Robbie Ray, who's a lefty, who strikes out a lot of guys, but he also walks a lot of batters. So that's who my 3 spot is. Then Thomas Hatch, who rookie season last year really pitched well through 26 and change seasons with a 2.73 ERA. Then Ross Stripling and Tanner Roark in the 5 and 6 spot. These are just kind of my theoretical order. And then, of course, they have Steven Matz, who they just acquired from the Mets. They have, as a lefty, started 30 games last year, in 2019, started 30 games for the Mets, also threw some relief innings, so he'll be filling in that order at some spots, whether that be in relief or on the starting mound. But as far as the Bauer situation, it appears that the Steven Matz acquisition by the Jays brings up my next point, is that I think the Mets are the front runners for signing Bauer. And the fact they released Steven Matz kind of leads me to believe that they're freeing up cap space to then sign Bauer, I think as early as the end of the week or early next week. But I still think the Blue Jays are probably the next most likely landing spot for Bauer. So I think they need to hurry up and beat the Mets to the punch. Not sure how close the Mets and Bauer are to making a deal, but I think the Mets are probably the front runner at the moment. The Blue Jays also have an issue with money. They've already signed Springer for $150 million this offseason. Simeon for 18, and then some other acquisitions. They have over $185 million in this offseason already. Not to say they can't afford Bauer, but that might be an issue if he wants to try to get $30+ million a year, which is not unlikely that he's going to try to do that. He's one of the best starters in the game, and by far the most prestigious one that is available in free agency. The Blue Jays and Bauer have actually been in communication. An issue with the Blue Jays being based out of Toronto is location, and a lot of big names. A lot of guys don't want to go to Canada to play baseball. Trevor Bauer already kind of made it public that he does not care about location, so that's not an issue. And then also the Blue Jays, being the strict COVID-19 policies in Canada, might be coming to the States to play. I've heard rumors they're coming to Florida, so that also shouldn't be an issue. So really, it's there. It's right there for the Blue Jays. Now it's up to what kind of deal can they make with him to beat out the Mets for this signing. But of course, Trevor Bauer, his skill has done all the talking for itself. Won the National League Cy Young Award winner last year with the Reds. Went 5-4 last year with a 1.7 ERA through 73 innings and 100 strikeouts on the dot. Very impressive last year. Career 75-64 as a starter, 3.9 ERA, and 1,279 strikeouts. He's really just recently emerged as one of the best in the game. He kind of got his name out there with the Indians, and then once he left there with the Reds, he kind of absolutely took off. So I think this guy, there's no doubt that he is very, very skilled. So the answer to why the Blue Jays need to sign him is pretty obvious. Everybody should want to sign Trevor Bauer. Everybody could use Trevor Bauer. But the Blue Jays, especially when they have all these other pieces put together, their outfield, their infield, their batting, their hitting order, their lineup, whatever, they need to add a elite starter to their lineup. And then their bullpen has the three names that really spoke to me the most were Kirby Yates, Jordan Romano, and Rafael Dolis. Again, not a bullpen that I'm really going to put all my eggs into, all my money, but they're decent. They can hold it down a little bit, at least, to win baseball games. So, really, all in all, Blue Jays need a pitcher. What better pitcher than Trevor Bauer? And aside from his baseball skill, one more thing about that, his main pitches, he runs his four-seam fastball up to almost 97, 98 he throws, but he sits usually 94, 96. His four-seam is his most common pitch. He does throw a changeup in the low 80s, 82, 84, and also has a curveball mixes in high 70s, and he does throw a sinker. But his main pitches are his changeup and his four-seam. But whatever it is, it's effective. He gets a lot of strikeouts, but he also just causes hitters. The simplest way to put it as a pitcher is if you get the hitters to miss the barrel of the bat, you're going to be fine. They can't hit the ball. They can't beat you if you throw strikes that they can't square up. So that's kind of what Bauer lives off of, is his ability to not only get strikeouts, but just not allow hitters to square the ball up off of him. But even outside of his skill, just the persona he brings to the mound, the swag, the intimidation, just the character of him, the McGregor walk that he does, the Joe Kelly on his shoes, whatever you want to say, Trevor Bauer brings to the table more than just baseball skill. He just brings character that is really like no other pitcher in baseball. So bottom line is, Blue Jays need to sign Trevor Bauer if they want to be in the World Series conversation, if they want to push past that wild card round, which they've struggled with pushing past that first round of the playoffs. And, of course, in the division that they are in, with the Yankees that are probably going to be taking it this year, with the Rays that are reigning AL champs, they're not in any easy spot by any means. So Blue Jays need to sign Trevor Bauer if they really, really want to be considered elite, because that's the one piece they're missing is an ace on the mound. So that's all for the video today, guys. Question of the day, your answer for what two pitchers threw for 300 strikeouts in 2019 were Justin Verlander, who threw 300 on the dot, and Garrett Cole, who threw 326, and they were both, at the time, on the Astros team, that team that went to the World Series and lost to the Nationals. So that's question of the day. Thanks for sticking around. 2-minute warning.